apologies for the interruption. Yeah. An interesting opportunity.
Moving to attack target.
It's with the same company. Like, when I was talking to them months ago, it would have been quite the investment of time and money for me initially, and I was actually kind of okay with that. What got me was it didn't sound like there was any long-term prospects. Now things have changed. They've asked me if I'm still interested because I believe they've lost some employees lately, so there is long-term prospects here, and that appeals to me. I'm a little worried about the responsibility of this job, because to be honest, the job I have now it can be physically demanding sometimes, but every weekend off, and like I'm never asked to do anything really honestly challenging. This other job could be very challenging.
Hey, fancy something?
And maybe I'm
What
not.
do you have for me?
Maybe I'm not good enough for it.
Never seen you here before. You new?
Yep.
Well, man, I work for Border World Exports. It's a sweet deal with the guys who own this base. Pure profit for us. Just between us, mate, I have heard a rumor.
All right, go on.
Right. Here's what's going on.
So I don't know what to do about that.
Good to
Anyway.
know. Thanks.
Wonderful.
So this all
You won't
happened
regret
today.
it.
So just, I don't know. I guess I'll be having to put some thought into this. Anyway, this is probably a thing. Let's get out of here.
Freelancer Alpha 1-1. This is LD-14. You are cleared for launch. Good luck out there.
Hey, the mollies aren't attacking me. That's nice.
Go to.
I've got a visual on the enemy. Target is prime and I'm ready.
Plus, I think I hurt myself at work.
I've got a visual on the enemy.
Nothing.
Target is prime
It's
and I'm
probably just being a little rough on my hands and wrist at work. So my hand's a little sore today. It's not honestly. It's really not feeling the flying in Freelancer. So maybe I'll just take her easy and do everything by autopilot. Yeah, not that I expect anyone to get back to me, and not that I expect this to give me an answer. I guess I'm just trying to... Hello, where are you? You are nav buoys.
Danger. Radiation damage detected.
Oh. They're marking off the radiation area. Good to know. Yeah, I guess I'm just wondering what... I want to do this, but I'm concerned that I will miss out on other, perhaps, better opportunities in the industry. Edinburgh jump note. That's cool.
Go to.
And someone's after me. And I gotta be honest, oh jeez, it's gonna take like forever to fly. They made the deal a lot more appealing this time around. And So, I guess I'm gonna, I think, perhaps talk. I just got, a quick message today. And maybe I'll find out a few more things, and if they are this interested, and if the things that I was told were true, then maybe I can iron out a contract and get all this stuff kind of written down. I mean, I know the contract doesn't really appeal to some people these days, and then there still will be a investment of time and money from me with that contract. So yeah, I'm kind of out time, I'm out money, and I'm probably signing my life away for a year or two for this job, but it will probably it will definitely provide me bigger opportunities in the industry. Right now, I might have a chance at those bigger opportunities. I gotta write my captain's exams. I've been just putting that off for months. So I can take my chances and just do the exam. I'll do the exam anyway, but I could do the exam and I might be able to find something that would offer more growth within the company, or I could do this, which would definitely offer me a bit more growth in the career afterwards. I mean, I guess any job in the career is going to offer any growth, but I don't know. Talk to them a bit and we'll see. I guess I'm going to talk to them a bit and see how long they would expect me or would like me to stick around. I don't want to stick around too long. The ex-girlfriend lives in the town, so I'm not particularly fond of possibly running into that one. Got family down there. I'll probably have to give up DJing. I really don't want to give up DJing, but I always knew that if I want to fly, I won't be able to DJ. If I want to DJ, I won't be able to fly. I can't have my cake and eat it too, which really, really, really sucks. But enough of that stuff. Let's focus on something more interesting, like Star Trek Discovery. The new series is out this week. I'm kind of excited. I don't know. They don't need to make it a prequel, but they are basically trying to make a remastered, better looking the original series. Like, I see things that scream the original series to me, but it's all high budget, shiny, all that good stuff. I feel like it's destined to fail because the lead is the commander. No offense, guys. It's kind of like, the guys at Enterprise, like, why do people not like... They're looking at Star Trek. It's like, why do people not like Voyager Deep Space? Because it wasn't about the Enterprise. Enterprise. Let's have a show called Star Trek Enterprise and have the ship be called the Enterprise and have retcon everything. No. And it's not that Enterprise sucked. It had some pretty interesting writing, and there's a lot of things they did in the show that would have been, I think, very interesting, but they were trying to make a prequel, so they had to make all these interesting things fit within the already established lore. You could have made it a sequel or a spin-off, like a spin-off of Next Gen, or a sequel to Next Gen with all those ideas would have been very interesting. Geez, having a prequel to Star Trek about like the early Starfleet would have been very interesting, but they all kept having to have the Starship Enterprise in their show, and I think that's what killed it. I think fans would have been able to tolerate the show if Enterprise was being rammed down their throats all the time. It may have not been as good as Next Gen, but really, what is as good as Next Gen? And speaking as a guy who's watching through Next Gen's only really good for like the first 3 or 4 years. After the best of both worlds, it's kind of, yeah. It kind of starts going downhill a bit. 7 years is a long time. 5 years perhaps would have been a little bit better. They would have been in. There would have been incentive to tie up any storylines they had, but it wasn't a serial drama. Like, you could just pick it up every couple weeks, and every once in a while there'd be a 2-parter where you'd need to see part 1, but they'd summarize part 1 enough at the beginning of part 2 that, it wasn't the end of the world. And this new Star Trek is different. The crew is not going to get along with each other, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, that's fine. And, it's going to be a huge overarching drama dealing with, like, one major villain doing stuff. So it's basically, it's going to tell a longer story. And that works for people my age because, like, I remember the old Spider-Man cartoon growing up. That was pure story arc. I loved it. It was so cool. You had to watch it every week to know what was going on. We have short attention spans, and at the same time we don't. Oh, that's just a jump hole. That's boring.
Go to.
But things like Game of Thrones, I like The Last Ship, I like The Librarians, I like Ash versus the Evil Dead. I liked Banshee. Actually, no, I still like Banshee, it's just not on anymore. What else? And, like, all these shows are all very, like, arc. Like, you really needed to see the last episode. Hell on Wheels was another one I liked. And it's a little bit annoying because these kinds of shows really lend themselves to binge watching. That's why binge watching is a thing now. Because people, like, okay, we have short attention spans because, we're watching a show while we're talking to our friend, while we're playing a game. But we want a big story. We want something that we can really invest and sink our teeth into. And by that virtue alone, I think Star Trek's gonna be very popular. Maybe not with Trekkies. It looks great. It looks fun. And I mean, it might not be Braga era Star Trek. Like, if you want Braga era Star Trek, rabble, they all go balance shape, but it doesn't matter. If you want a sequel to Star Trek, play Star Trek Online. It actually reasonably satisfies the endings of all the characters and everything that happens. Plus, rights some wrongs with time travel. This new series, my only concern is the main character is the second in command, the lady from The Walking Dead. And I'm not saying that she can't be a good commander. I just would have preferred her be the captain. Now, from what I understand, just the characters and the history and things that they've done, maybe there's a reason why she's a commander instead. But if she is the commander and she is the main character, I have a feeling that the captain is not going to make it out of this series. He's probably going to die, and she's probably going to inherit the ship. Now, also, people are getting bent out of shape because Spock has a sister. And, well, Spock has a brother that he never told about. Spock's not overly close with any of his family, except for his mother. He wasn't close to his father because his father thought he should be more Vulcan. He wasn't close to his brother because his brother was like, no, you should be less Vulcan. And he's got an adopted sister that is purely human, who's just this brainchild by the looks of things. And she's more Vulcan than Spock is, and I think she's Sarek's favorite. Now, truth be told about Sarek, he, like most fathers, want to have a daughter. They want a little boy. They want a little miniature badasser version of them, but they want a little princess. Something adorable and cuddly. And that's probably why he favored Spock's adopted sister over Spock. And that's going to be a thing in the series, but you know, we won't see Spock.
This is Bretonia Police, Delta at 5
Screw off,
Freelancer,
Christina.
Alpha at 1-1. You don't mind if I scan you for a little contraband, do you? There's nothing here I want.
No, because I'm not a criminal. Alright. Is that it for Leeds? Manchester. I've already been to Manchester. I think.
Going offensive. Engaging Freelancer Alpha 1. Enemy target locked. Engaging bounty hunter Shred 1.
But I can't wait for it. I'm gonna watch the ever-loving crap out of that show. I am concerned that... I mean, I understand they're doing things differently. The main character isn't the captain, it's the first officer. And... I don't know if it's a matter, like maybe it's her character. I don't know if it's a matter of they didn't want to put a woman in charge, or they didn't think a woman could be in charge, or they're trying to do stuff different. But like, just because Picard was like the main character, Patrick Stewart was the main actor on the show, there are shows that revolve completely around Riker and his other staff. Like, there are episodes that could do that, and you could still do that. And then the departure of the guy the Brian Singer, or whatever, the guy who came up with this, worries me, because he had a vision of the series that probably be lost before it even gets started. And you know, that's what happened to Andromeda, and I love Andromeda. Andromeda was such a great, interesting show, but then when its developer took off, well, was fired, I should say. The show just was not as awesome as it once was. It was still good, it was just not great. Well, according to the Freelancer wiki, there is one more thing in this system I need to check out, and it's right here.
Go to.
No. Do not fly me into a planet. I actually didn't even know this was a thing. This is completely new for me. So that's kind of exciting. And I haven't caught up with Ashes of the Evil Dead, which makes me sad. I'm an episode behind on The Last Ship. I'm like 2 seasons behind on Hell on Wheels, and it's finished. I did lose interest after I don't know, it went kind of well Game of Thrones, if you know what I mean. I don't watch Game of Thrones. I have enough people on my Facebook that watch it, so there's enough stuff spoiled for me, so I have a fairly vague idea of what's going on.
Objective reached. Dock.
And I don't know, I'm more of a science fiction guy than a fantasy guy. I gotta really be in the mood for fantasy, and I'm most often not in the mood. Like, I can't, into Skyrim every once in a while, and then I realized how much I like Fallout over Skyrim. I go play Fallout. It's not that magic isn't cool, but I mean, I could just play like Bioshock or something. I want like magic guns or Shadowrun. Shadowrun's cool. I've been sort of working on a. Oops.
Cancel.
Now it should be over here. There
Go
it is.
to.
I have a kip. There you are. Oh, I haven't landed on Glasgow either, I don't think. Nope, I have landed on Glasgow.
Your transmission, Armed Forces Gamma 4. Where are you heading?
We're on a patrol mission from LD-14. We're going to Battleship York.
Dock.
Acknowledged. Your request to dock is granted. Proceed to dock 1.
Anyway, I guess what was I saying? Star Trek. Oh yeah, Shadowrun. I have a campaign I'm kind of working on for Shadowrun. Slowly, it's a big. I mean, the mission campaign editor is actually like very useful, but it's a challenging big thing. And no one likes me here, so I'm gonna call it here. I'll see you guys in the next one.